is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
Good morning and welcome to Cowboys Storyline presented by Gillette. I am Nick Eatman. It is Monday, October the 6th, and the Cowboys are now 2-2-1. All year long, I'm going to say a record that I've never said before. There's another one. There, not many teams, I guess, are exactly 500. I believe the Bears are because they're 2-2 after 4 games, but the Cowboys 2-2-1 in 5 games. They are back to 500 with an impressive win. It was, to me at least, 37-22. I think it's a big win. I mean, because it was a must win, and we said this all the time about, the early in the year, these are the games you have to have. You've got to go into New York and beat the Jets. Underdogs or not, and I believe by the kickoff, the Cowboys were slight underdogs in the game, but they dominated that game, and they were not only the better team, but I think this is important to say. They made a team look worse than they are. We say it all the time. Man, why do we always play to our level of our competition? Well, they didn't this game. They exceeded that, and they made a bad Jets team look worse. So, and I don't think the Jets are terrible. I looked at their schedule. I bet they win 2 games out of the 2 of the next 4 games. I bet they'll win here pretty soon, as long as they stick together. But I thought, give the Cowboys credit for how they played the game with all of the injuries that they have to do what they did on the offensive line and put up that many yards and that many points again. I mean, they scored 37 points now, three games this year in regulation. 37, right on the dot. A couple of times they've got to 40 in overtime. But that's the 3rd time that they've hit 37. That's pretty impressive. And they're now right over 30 points a game. So when you think of all the injuries that you had on the line, the receivers and everything, missing some very key players, to keep doing that is really good. All right, let's go to the line. Lester in Minnesota's first.
Morning, Nick.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. First of all, I want to give kudos to the offensive line and the offensive line coaches. I think they've done a sensational job. I've never really known someone to come in with 4 backups on the line and play that well like that. So I want to give kudos to the coaches and the offensive line. Wow, I'm just so happy, man. We got 5 sacks yesterday for the defense and the defensive line, and I'm an offensive and defensive line guy, so I'm really feeling good. And I love the coaching that Schottenheimer is doing. I look at little things like he called the timeout when it looked like they weren't organized or whatever was going on, but he called a timeout in the first half. I'm an advocate of using your timeouts in the first half if you look like you need them. And sometimes I know coaches don't do that. They save them for some reason, and you can't use them after the first half anyway. And
All right.
I'm just happy, man.
Okay.
I just want to say one more thing. The foundation of this team should be run the ball, play action pass, and throw the ball back. Go Cowboys.
All right. Thank you for the call, Lester. Let's go. Let's keep this thing going. Let's try to get quicker in and out of here. So, Anthony in Miami, what's up?
Nate the Quick, what's up, my guy?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Took a little break. I had to check in with the boys, so we're gonna make it quick. I got to show love to you. First of all, I'd like to say to do a flashback. I predicted 10-6-1. So the tie for me, let's get back on that, was excellent. And I think that tie is going to help us sneak into the playoffs. So I did predict that tie.
Okay.
So that's what's going to happen on that. Now, for this right now, the number one thing everybody's got to realize what's happening with the team. Dak's playing out of his mind, showing true leadership with all the people he's missing, and we have depth. We keep that up, keep the depth with the injuries and how good they are playing, we got a shot. So I'm going to make it fast, man. Miss you. All right.
All right, appreciate it. You're right about that. Dak is playing really good football right now. You take his best receiver away, take his fastest receiver away, take the best offensive lineman, maybe the best guard in the league, take it away, take your other strong guard away, your starting center. I mean, everything is being taken away, and nothing is changing really. So and that is the constant right now. He's playing really, really good football. He's taking what's there. The running game, got to give credit to the running game because they've been outstanding. Javonte Williams, it's better than you would have thought. For him, and I have a point on that. I'm sure we'll talk about running backs later on in the show. Jeremy in D.C. is our next caller. Jeremy, what's up, man?
Hey, yo, Nick. What's up, Nick? You staying out of trouble?
Yeah, yes.
All right, man. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I like how they're giving J-Dub the ball, man. He's running that thing. He's looking like Emmett out there. When I'm saying that, I'm talking about, like, the more carries he gets, the better he getting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like or either they getting tired or something.
Yeah.
And then, GP3 came through with another assist. And then, oh, boy, where did Ryan Flournoy come from?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was a Fergalicious day. And I like how Eberflus was mixing up that defensive line. He was bringing them. It looked like he learning how to play with his new toys now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Learning when to get them in on which downs and stuff like that. And I like how he's moving with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm loving how Shotty and Dak is. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
it's looking so good. It's looking so good. Remember, I called last year and I said, please let Shotty call the plays for Dak, since him and everybody was comparing Dak to Russell Wilson and da-da-da-da. And it looked like Russell Wilson had a little flashback when he met up with Shotty again.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah. But that's really it, Nick.
Okay.
And I just think don't hurt nobody.
All right. No, obviously.
I know it's going to be a busy day for y'all today.
No, it'll be a fun day. It's a good day. We don't hurt anyone today. It was a great game, great win, and I'm not one. Thanks for the call, Jeremy. I'm not one that thinks that oh well, it's just the Jets. I mean, you're supposed to take care of business there. You're supposed to win those games, and they dominated that. And Jeremy just mentioned 5 or 6 different players you could talk about. The running back and the tight end, and Ferguson's playing really good, and it's complementary to what he's that safety valve for Dak. He's really, really in the right spot there. And I mean, this is not a disrespect to Ferguson. It's really more of a compliment to them. But that's like a extended running play. When they're passing the ball to Ferguson, it's not. It's an easy pitch and catch. And while it's a quarterback to a tight end, and he's averaging, I think, 7 yards, 6 yards, 7, something like that for the season, but think of it almost like a running play, because that's how safe it's become. That's and it also can extend to more. So I'm not calling it a run. I'm just saying it's a safe play that's getting them 6-7 yards and sometimes more. And so that's really helping the offense even more. All right, Travis in San Antonio's next.
Nick, happy Victory Monday. Let's go.
For sure. Great win.
Yep. I know you were. I kind of heard the end of what you were just talking about there about everyone saying it's the Jets, but we did have some. It's to me, we can do both things, right? Because the national media says, "Oh, now Cowboys fans are going to be sitting here saying we're going to the Super Bowl," which is complete nonsense and garbage, which is why I don't listen to it. But you can also appreciate that. Yeah, they had 4 offensive linemen out, 2 of the rest receivers out, and the question was, were they going to pass the test? Could they keep the momentum going on offense? The answer is yes. So that is an achievement. So you got to give big ups to Schottenheimer. I think I said multiple times in this game, Nick, like good play call. Like it was good rhythm. It was well timed. And I'm going to say this again this week. I don't know what we got to do. Everyone's saying pay this guy, pay that guy. I don't know. My biggest fear is that we lose Clayton Adams because, man, Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, I can't say enough. Like I've been saying since San Francisco last week, if you want to see the best Dak, let's reestablish and reinvent the running game. And I think that support for him, I think that's an underappreciated thing, Nick, where I think it also frees up Dak too, because he knows, like, okay, if I don't have my best stuff, we have a changeup. I can hand this ball off and we can go dominate.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge thing. And then the last thing, I think Brian in Lakeland, who was in Lakeland, he moved back to San Antonio, wanted me to tell you. He wanted to shout out the basically end of the halves, the Cowboys being greedy, which turned out to be a really good thing. Using the timeout to get the ball back. He goes on that long run, they score again. So kind of just doubling up there. And that's the advantage we always talk about receiving, right, or kicking first and then being able to double up. So just wanted to point that out and tell you guys it's awesome that they got the win and looking forward to Carolina. Let's go kick Dowdle's butt.
Thanks, Travis. They didn't – that's the thing you were talking about, deferring and getting the ball to start the third quarter, and that's how you double up. They didn't double up then. They doubled up twice before the half, which is very rare. Once the Jets threw the ball on first down to come out of the break, after the Cowboys had scored to make it, I guess they made it 17-3, and with 50 seconds to go, the Jets could have just run the ball and got out of here. But they threw it on first down, and it was incomplete. That changed everything because now the Cowboys with 2 timeouts could stop it twice. What happened? They got a sack, which they called timeout. Then there was another short play, short of the first down, another timeout. Cowboys get the ball back. But, they were going for a field goal, and that's what should have happened. But then Javonte Williams ran the ball 66 yards, and too bad he couldn't get it to 67. But, he ran it, and then that led to another touchdown. I think the Cowboys scored twice in 42 seconds, and that's the second time that's happened in 2 games now where the Cowboys have scored 2 touchdowns in less than a minute right before the half. Sergeant Sue in Fort Worth is next. Sergeant Sue, what's up?
Eddie's, everybody. How you doing, Nick?
Good.
Hey, man, I'm feeling really good, man. One thing that I want to say right now is culture. A lot of us, weren't really excited about the Shoddy hire. Some people call him, a puppet, or some people call him whatever they call him, But, I saw something with him that I haven't seen in a very long time, that compete every day, all day, every day till the wheels come off. That thing that he's been preaching this whole time, we're seeing it. I mean, we're down to, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th offensive linemen. Linebackers are out. Safeties are out. Wide receivers are out. We lost one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league. Top 3 pass rusher went to a different team. It doesn't matter. He's preaching every single day. You go out there, you compete. You're a grown man. You could fight. You can make plays. And we're seeing that, man. That's something that I really think that he deserves a lot of kudos for. He has a lot to prove still going forward. Consistency is what's going to be key. But I think that that's something that you could really, you have to salute him for that. You know what I mean? So I think that's really something that's exciting going forward. We got a couple games coming up that we should be able to clean up as well. And let's get this thing going, man. I appreciate you for taking my call, brother.
Yeah, thank you. After the game against the Packers, I believe that, the cameras, NFL Films cameras, or might have been our cameras that got Shoddy talking about that game. And he said, that was tough. It was a tie. But he said, we're going to go on a run. We're going to do this. We're about to go on a run, guys. And, I know it's one game, but that's what it looked like. It looked like that they're kind of ready to do this. And when you look at the schedule, there's nothing on this schedule that you would think, all right, you can't go win. Now, I saw, everyone's happy that Denver beat the Eagles. I get that. And then you got to go to Denver. It's a place you haven't won since 1992. So it's been a long time, and that's going to be a really tough game. But everything is winnable, with the way the Cowboys are scoring points right now. Everything's winnable. And going back to the Travis question about Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, both of them on the offensive line, when they hired Clayton Adams, who was the O-line coach for the Cardinals, it was like, okay, he's an O-line guy. He's not going to just coach that. Then they got Connor Riley, who is the O-line. So a lot of resources there to this offensive line, and it's showing. I mean, they look how well coached these guys are because they're stepping right in and they're playing. And, no one's mentioning TJ Bass, but he plays really, really well. And if it wasn't for an offside penalty on Quinnen Williams, their all-pro defensive tackle, he got called for offsides, I don't know if it would have really hurt his name. I don't think he did much. Sauce Gardner, he's their all-pro corner, and he didn't do anything. He lost a deep ball, one-on-one, and some hand fighting with George Pickens. He did not win that hand fight, and a great job. So those 2 players right there are the best 2 that the Jets have, and they were neutralized, especially on the offensive line. All right, let's go to Brian in Kansas City.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. It was so nice to see a game where, for most of the game, once we got up by 2 scores, there was no real angst.
Right.
You know, there was no biting your nails, like, oh God, now what? You know, it had been a while since I could remember a game like that. So, and the thing that really crossed my mind, and you touched on how well the backup offensive lineman played, but when I looked at towards the end of the game, the thing that really, the thing that I thought about was how valuable, especially knowing that we won, in hindsight, how valuable is it that so many of these players who are not who are not starters, or not going to be big contributors in the future, got first team reps in a live game, and we won.
Yeah.
Like Flournoy. You look at how his performance, when everybody's healthy, that guy's so deep on the depth chart, he's not going to have a game like that again.
Yeah.
Not in the near future, except for injury. But now you look at the value of this, and James and all the people, all the four backup offensive linemen and all these guys, you look at the value of this. If Flournoy had to come into a game late in the year, big, whatever, the playoffs are on the line, or maybe we make the playoffs, and Dak would have absolute faith in him because he's seen it. He knows he can do it, and Flournoy knows he can do it.
Right.
And that's so valuable to these guys that don't get much playing time.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it for me, man. What a great game. Go Cowboys.
Thank you. It's funny. There's two sides, as Parcells would say. There's two sides to that pancake. When everyone says, well, why don't the starters play more in the preseason and things like that? Where, you'd like for them to, but at the same time, they're also, risking injury. But what's happening is if they're not playing, then you have a lot of young guys that are playing. And so, you can look back and go, man, I'm kind of glad they did that. I'm glad that Nate Thomas got a lot of snaps. T.J. Bass, Brock Hoffman, they got a lot of snaps there in the preseason games. Adeniji played some there. Flournoy played a lot in the preseason. And so he's just kind of gotten better and better as we moved along here. All right, JR in Avondale, Arizona. JR, what's up?
Good morning, Nick. How's everything in Dallas?
Good.
Excellent. Happy Victory Monday. So none of my really predictions of who was going to intercept, and none of that came true, but who cares? Because we won, right?
Right.
My final score, I said, would be 38-17, and it wasn't, but who cares? We won.
Pretty close.
Anyway, y'all talked about a lot of stuff that I was going to talk about, but let's give a shout-out and some props to Will McClay and his group and the Joneses for finding these offensive linemen, because these guys aren't third-round picks and stuff like that, right? These are free agents, and I think Nate Thomas was a 5th or a 7th-round pick. I'm not sure which.
Yeah,
but
6th maybe.
But these guys are playing at a level. All you have to do is watch the Washington-L.A. game yesterday, and the Chargers had a couple of linemen out, and they could not protect Herbert, and they looked terrible. So my hat's off to getting the talent, acquiring the talent, right? And then something I haven't heard us talk about is Shamar James.
Yeah.
He had 15 tackles yesterday. That's more tackles than a Cowboy player has had since Sean Lee in 2015. So think about that for a second. He was balling yesterday.
Yeah.
I think that he has got himself a spot, and I'll say the same thing for Ryan Flournoy. I think he kind of bumped Tolbert right off the edge of the table. So that's really all I had today. Great win. Go Cowboys.
All right. Thank you, JR. You mentioned Shamar James. You want some irony? How about this stat? Shamar James, I looked it up, how many rookies have had 15 tackles in a game. And it's like 36 have done it. So 36 players in NFL history have done it. So, that's great. 2 Cowboys. Leighton Vander Esch did it as a rookie in 18, and then so did Shamar James yesterday. Also on the list was Jack Sanborn, who happened to be the player that Shamar James replaced. So he replaced Sanborn, who's also had a 15-tackle game as a rookie against the Jets back in 2022 with the Bears. So kind of ironic little stat. But, yeah, I mean, the way he played and the way he flew to the football, he's going to continue to get better. And that'll be one where that's going to be – when you look at all the decisions, okay, Klayton comes back. What do you do with Nate Thomas? Nothing. I think you play Klayton. What do you do with Flanoy? He comes back. I think he does play more. He's got to be in your system more. Even taking some of Turpin's snaps, depending on how they want to play certain things, because I think Turpin's still a gadget player, which is good. That's not disrespect. You need that when you got some really, really great receivers on the outside. Mingo's coming back. So they got decisions to make there. But Shamar James and Sanborn, that's one where, James is just going to have to play more. I mean, he has to, especially with the defensive tackles, the way you have it here. All right, let's go to break real quick. I don't want to have to rush our next caller, so let's go to break on Cowboy Storyline. Be right back.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's ALTECLANSING.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, is exclusively in the Dallas Cowboys app. Join the official fan club today to receive access to Cowboys Drops, where you can win game tickets, autographed items, exclusive experiences, and more. Download the app now to join. All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline. After a Cowboy win, 37-22 over the New York Jets. Wasn't even that close, but that's all right. Good win for the Cowboys. Get to 2-2-1. Let's go to the phone lines. Rob in Vegas is next.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Rob.
The word of the day is opportunity.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen it in the history of football with the GOAT, Tom Brady. You get a chance to play. It could change your life, could change the team. I thought yesterday, Flanoy kind of reminds me of Dez a little bit. Big body. He's different than the rest of the wide receivers we have, and he's a playmaker. And there was a couple plays where he would catch the ball. He still needed a couple yards to get the first down, and he run some guys over and get it, where our other wide receivers, little guys, they can't really do that.
Right.
I thought the offensive line was fantastic. I disagree with you about Klayton. Will they probably try him again? Yeah, but I just think Nate Thomas played so good, and I just think Dak looked so – I don't think Dak got sacked the whole game.
If he did, it's that one play where he was rushing. Again, very similar to the Micah play where he slid. They called that a sack. But, yeah, not in the pocket. I don't believe so, no.
Yeah, I just think Nate Thomas is a little more solid right now, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And Hoffman, I'm not sure Hoffman's not better than BB at center. Hoffman.
I don't know if I disagree there. I don't think I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, he's really good at center.
He really is, and he's he's just kind of what you want in there, right? Nothing against BB. I mean, this is I don't know. This is a tough one.
Yeah,
it's a good
it's a good problem to have.
It certainly is, because these guys get hurt, they get banged up, but you've got 10. You've got 10 guys that are just playing, together, and they're going to be needed. And, Steele will get banged up maybe, or Guyton gets banged up. Nate Thomas, let's be fair now. Nate Thomas was a 7th-round pick. Talent-wise, 2nd or 3rd, okay? But the list of his injuries coming out of college was almost comical, even though injuries aren't funny. But you wouldn't believe how many injuries they read off in the war room when they were saying this is what this guy's dealing with. And so he's had to, so if health-wise, he was a really good prospect, but he just couldn't stay healthy. So that being said, it's better to have a bunch of guys here.
Yeah, and I agree with on defense, Wanye Thomas, I think is a good young player. I think he should be on the field. Shamar James showed up. Louisville made one of the biggest plays with the punch out.
No doubt.
I just think they found some young guys, and now you roll with them. Why not? It's not like the guys that are way better, if better at all. Dak is just on another level. Dylan said it last week. Romo is always good. And then that one year you could just see Romo just saw the play before it started.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see that with Dak. Dak doesn't look flustered. In the past, he looked flustered. Now he's seeing it before it happens, and he's doing it without his best wide receiver. It's nice that Pickens is kind of, we heard he could be a number 1. Yeah, I think he can.
Yeah, he certainly can. All right.
But yeah, no, great game, great win, and like you said, it's time to go on a roll.
All right, Rob. Appreciate that. And I mentioned it last week, and I think Dylan's right, Rob's right when you're talking about that year, comparing that year that Romo had in 2014, where he really just started to see it, and it clicked for him. It also clicked because he had an 1,800-yard rusher there in DeMarco Murray, who had 100 yards every single game. And he might have had a fumble every now and again, but he also would have 100 yards and score a touchdown, and it was worth it that season. And so, Dak, he's $60 million a year. I get it, but he's getting help, and he doesn't have to do everything. And on 3rd and 2, they can run it. They can run it here on 3rd and 3 if they need to, and they have a running back that's getting more yards. So, and I also credit the offense of play calling and scheme. It's not like, the offensive line's done a nice job, but they're also protecting the line as well. They're giving it help at times when they're going up against the Packers and Micah Parsons. Or in a game like this, they got the ball out of Dak's hands early, which means these receivers, the slant pass is back. And we haven't really seen it work like this. Should I say Aikman to Irvin? That wasn't a pass Romo threw a lot. And even Dak early in his career, it just didn't seem like I could be wrong, but I don't remember the slant as much as I've seen it this year. And I thought there were a lot of big plays in the game. And obviously the fumble by Leofau was huge. But right after that, 5-yard penalty on Cropper. He didn't line up right, and it's 1st and 15. You're back at your own 5. They got it back to the 10. It's 2nd and 10. The Jets call timeout. They're going to get the ball here at midfield and probably go get a field goal. 2nd and 10, slant to Flanoy for 10. That was huge. He got that. Now it's like, wait a second. Now we're going to get points. We're driving to get points. Well, they drove, and Flanoy with another big catch, and then they scored and then got the ball and scored again. But that 10-yard slant to Flanoy was huge because that opened up the offense to say, all right, now we're not back in our own end zone. We got a first down. Let's go get points for Aubrey. And they got a lot more than that. So I thought that was a huge, huge play in the game. All right, Brandon in Fresno is next.
What's going on?
Hey, Brandon.
Happy Victory Monday, man.
All right.
Once again, kudos to Dak, man. He's playing his butt off, man. I mean, people say they want to see him run. He's running. He's moving. He's moving. You know, he's picking up those extra yards.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not worried about the offense. I was worried about the running game, but Javonte Williams, man, he's a man. That guy, he's running with a vengeance. So kudos to the offense. Offense is great. But how about this defensive line, man? James Houston. You know, I think he's got something going. And Dante Fowler showed out. I know it's the Jets, but I just wanted to see what you've seen on that defensive line. Seemed like after that Green Bay game, they got all that jitters out about number one over there. But now it just seems like this D-line is moving. Kenny Clark's moving. Like, everybody's moving on that D-line. I seen it yesterday. It looked really good. So I just wanted to say Happy Victory Monday and, you know, let's go Cowboys. Let's get Carolina and Rico Dowdle.
All right. We'll talk about Rico here. Thanks for the call, Brandon. You're right. The D-line playing as a unit, I thought by far Dante Fowler's best game, maybe since he has played for the Cowboys, and this would be his third year with the Cowboys overall, and I thought he played really good in the game. You know, Kenny Clark played well. Osa the last two games is starting to really turn the corner. But, you know, when you talk about players that they've added, it starts with Pickens, right? I mean, Pickens has been outstanding. Right below him, Javonte Williams. Those two guys together. So I get it. That's 1 and 2 for sure. I could be missing someone, but where does Solomon Thomas rank here? Because, maybe third, but he's been very good. And he came back. This was a guy that was third overall. I mean, he's the third overall pick in the draft way back when. And he's played with the 49ers. He played with the Jets. And he was very complimentary of the Jets all week long and even after the game. But this game meant something, and it showed. I mean, it showed he really played his butt off in that game. And that's just providing even more depth. There's been so many years we didn't have 2 defensive tackles that were playing well. Now you have 3 for sure. Really good stuff. All right, let's go to Irwin in Colorado. He's next.
Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Doing really good. Hey, just a couple things. I'll keep it quick. How refreshing is it for the play calling from a year ago? I mean, I don't want to bash McCarthy or anything like that, but you could clearly see the difference between his play calling and Shoddy's play calling. And the other thing I want to ask you, have you heard any whispers or any rumors or anything about Jerry Jones possibly making some kind of a trade on an impact defensive player? And I'll let you go. And thanks for taking my call.
All right. I haven't heard that yet. They're obviously it's on the table that they can do that. But, you know, it's also one of those things where you kind of want to see what you are still and what you need. What are you missing? You know, you have Shamar James now that's playing some at linebacker, so you kind of want to see a little bit more what you have there, and then Overshown will be back. Defensive end, pass rush. I mean, that would always be there. They would probably always. I think you kind of know what you're going to get with these guys. Houston may continue to get better, and Sam Williams and all that. But if that position opened up as a possible trade to kind of take them over the top, sure. But yeah, going back to your question or just your comment about the play calling, the play calling has been really good, and I just think it stems all from the running game. I really do. I believe that you have to respect it. The safeties have to come up. You have to respect it, and now the play action is working more than it's ever worked before, and that's why Ferguson is catching the ball that he's catching. How many times have you seen him just play action, rolls out to the side, makes the catch, 6 yards, 7 yards, maybe he breaks it up field for a little bit for 10 or 11. But I thought, that was big. Another key play in the game, and I put this in my 5 plays, was on the touchdown drive in the second quarter, early second quarter. It's 3-3. The Cowboys are driving. It's 3rd and 10, and they throw a little swing out to it was a dump off, really, because he was trying to get down the field. Dak was down the field, but he dumped it off to Lipke. Did not look like he was going to get 10 yards, but he went straight north and got 10 exactly, moved the chains. That was a really big play. Then that opened up even more for the offense to go down, and they ended up taking the lead on their first touchdown. I thought that was a big play in the game because it's still early. It's 3-3. You know, you're trying to move the ball, and they would have had to punt it back. And that one was the play that kind of got them going here. Let's go to break here one more time on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that's decked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades and fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
Single game tickets still available for the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. You've got the Commanders coming up, the Arizona Cardinals, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings remaining on the schedule. You can visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Back here on Cowboys Storyline, got 10 more minutes or so, a little bit more. We can chat. The line, we've got one phone line open, got another one with KC in LA. He's on the line. KC, what's up?
Hey, Nick. Happy Victory Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the Jets, but I don't care about that. It was a good win. I love this physical brand of football the boys are playing. And how about Clayton Adams, man? This run game is looking sweet. And it's just, I don't remember the last time we had a team that was so physical. It's not finesse. It's power football, and I'm loving it. And some of these young guys on defense are starting to come around. So it just feels good to feel good on a Monday.
Exactly. I love it. I feel that's well said. Thank you, Casey. You know, I have a point about the Clayton Adams, and this is the second time I've written his name down here. You guys are talking about him. This to me, and I said this on, I do a hit on the radio, 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. I said that this morning, and I'll say it again. This is another example where, you know, we love to judge the moves that are made in the draft and free agency, and this guy, they got him. He's washed up. He's not any good. He wasn't good at this team or this team. But remember that coaches have visions for players. And when Clayton Adams stood up there in his very first press conference and said, we're going to be a violent running team. Our offensive line is going to be violent. That's the way we're going to run. And we are going to play smash mouth football. Okay, that being said, who do you want to be your running back? Well, how about this guy right here, Javonte Williams? He had an injury 2 years ago. I don't know if Denver used him the right way. I'm not saying all that. Just I know the vision I have for him, and when he comes in, this is how I want to use. I need a back like that. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, he is the perfect back for what they want to do. No offense to Rico Dowdle. They could have re-signed him, but that's not the back that they wanted. They wanted a different back, and I think the 1,000 yards, probably priced Rico out for what they were trying to do. Obviously, they play the Panthers this week. Credit to him, 200 yards or 206 rushing. You kidding me? I mean, like that what an outstanding performance for him. And I got to look it up. I don't know how many 200-yard rushers there's ever been in the NFL for an undrafted player. I don't know. It might have happened, but I have not seen that before. And he's ready. I know he said Cowboys better buckle up. And I don't know if he's talking smack. I mean, he's kind of getting himself ready to go. But is he the starter? You know, I mean, like Chuba Hubbard, I believe, was the running back there, and he filled in for him. And the Dolphins have not been great against the run, so that is, you know, they took advantage of that. That's going to be a huge matchup, though. But, yeah, very ironic that the Cowboys face the Panthers next. Javonte Williams running great, and then Rico Dowdle obviously coming off a 200-yard game. So that's going to probably be the storyline of the game going into this one next week. All right, let's go to Chris in Saratoga Springs, New York. Chris, what's up?
Had a good week. Yeah, nothing. Had a good weekend. Took those 11 and 12-year-old boys to their first game. Saw the Cowboys beat the Jets. My voice is a little hoarse because, you know, I'm yelling at the stadium.
Did a lot of yelling.
They had a fantastic time.
All right. That's awesome. I'm glad they enjoyed it. Yeah, that's a cool experience, especially a fun game like that where a lot of big plays were made all over the place.
Yeah, I was telling Chris when he answered the call that at the end of the game, Trayvon Diggs coming around the sideline slapping everybody's hand. My one boy squeezed his way down to the front row and had his hand out, and he got his hand slapped by Trayvon Diggs, and I never seen the kid smile so much in his life. It was outstanding.
That's awesome, man. There's nothing like it, and I can remember. I remember that experience for me. I was 6, and I remember Tony Dorsett giving me that okay with the 3, gave him okay. I was yelling at him, and he gave me that okay sign or whatever, and I'll never forget that. And I was 6 years old, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Flanoy, stepping up big time yesterday.
Man, I know I'm not supposed to say this. I mean, because it was a different game and all that. If he would have scored a touchdown or two, I mean, it had Miles Austin vibes to it. It really did. I mean, I guess they both wear 19, I guess, but it's just the way he took advantage of the opportunity and broke tackles and just played physical with speed. That was, and I know he didn't score. It's not the same breakout thing, but very similar to the point where he had a great game, and now you have to wonder, he's going to be playing more. I mean, he has to be playing more now. All right,
I agree 100%.
Okay, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for the call. Let's keep it going here. Let's go to G in Atlanta. G.
What's going on, Nick?
What's up, man?
Ain't nothing, my brother. Ain't nothing, man. Happy on this Victory Monday.
First time caller.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, G. Yes, let's go. Bring some energy. I like it.
Oh, yeah. Man, I'm pumped up, man.
You should be.
We got a good win yesterday after people had said we were going to lose. We were going to give up 180 yards to Justin Fields and rushing, and they pick us to lose, and then we win. Then it's like, well, we should have won. I just, look here. I like what we're doing. I like the direction that we're going in. I know you are like me. I believe in moral victories. I think last week, we were supposed to lose to Green Bay, and we showed up and played a great game on one side of the ball.
Yeah.
I think that kind of it rolled over into this game, where normally, we will play down to the level of competition, but I don't think we did, man.
Yeah.
So I give a big shout out to Coach Shoddy, the offensive line, who we had 4 new starters in there. That's a great win. And then the defense showed up and put pressure on them. That's amazing. I thought we did a great job, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited for what we're doing.
You should be, man. Yeah, it was a really big credit. Thanks for the call, G. Really big credit to the coaching staff, and I'm a believer in the moral victory part, or whatever it is to keep your morale high. The interesting thing about the tie was most of the guys say that it felt like a loss, like a missed opportunity, because they had chances to win that game against Green Bay, and it felt like the Packers had to kind of settle for the tie when the Cowboys were really thinking, they got this to win. So when it didn't happen like that, it was a little bit more disappointment. So whatever it is that they took to the field this week, and maybe the Jets were just the perfect opponent for them. They're certainly reeling. They've got some good players, but I'm pulling for Aaron Glenn. I mean, I have no reason not to. I remember him as a player here. I liked him, and I hope he does well. He's a young coach. I mean, there were some times where I just disagreed with a few things that he did in the game, and you got to learn from that. I mean, here's another play. It's first drive of the game, and Justin Fields runs to the 5-yard line on second down from the 6, 5 yards to the 1. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1. Cowboys line up off sides, so they take the penalty, which is half the distance to the goal. So now it's 2nd and 3 from the 3, second goal from the 3, instead of 3rd and goal from the 1. And then Solomon Thomas makes a huge play, tackle for loss. Now it's 3rd and 6. They don't get the 3rd down. They kick a field goal. As big as Justin Fields is, the ball at the 1, Breece Hall or him 2 times, I don't think the Cowboys are stopping that. I think that's a touchdown. I get it's 3rd down from the 1, but the way that the tush push is, and we saw Justin Fields do it later on, and they didn't stop him. So I thought that was a missed opportunity for the Jets. I think they made a mistake with that call, thinking, well, we got 3 downs for 3 yards. I don't know. If that was the case, then they would go for 2 all the time if it was so easy to score from there. I think scoring from the 1 on 2 plays was the smarter play. We said it up in the press box at the time. It turned out to be a tough one for them. All right, let's go to Dylan in Northport, Florida. He will be our last caller.
Hey, Nick, I'll go quick here, man. You got to get out of there. So super fast. I'm calling Klayton Adams, Connor Riley, and Schottenheimer. They're the MacGyver staff because the offensive line is being held together by glue and duct tape, and they're still dominating, getting it done. So that's just a drastic change from seasons past where injuries derailed everything. Awesome to see. Dak's new nickname, I'm calling him 2020 because he's just seeing everything on the field.
No.
A lot of motion.
No. He says no to that. Please don't say anything 2020 with him. It's the worst year, he says, because of the injury. Somebody asked him about 2020, and he was like, no. So let's come up.
Okay, I'll call him Vision after the superhero then, the Marvel superhero.
Let's something else because he doesn't want anything to do with 2020.
I didn't even think of that. That's hysterical. And then just real quick, man, Shamar James, dude, I said last guy I called in, I said, we got to get playmakers out there, guys that can fly around. Dude had 15 tackles, and it's awesome to see your linebackers tackling after the catch. That was a huge difference in this game.
Yeah, they did. They did tackle well. You're right about that. All right, Dylan, thanks for the call. Dak is seeing it really well. I mean, the offensive the coaches are calling the plays where the ball can get out quickly. I think it all stems from just a running game, which gives them balance. That's what they have. They have balance, and I know that's one of the things that Schottenheimer wanted to do when designing the offense was these looks look like runs and passes, and I think that's one of the criticism that we heard from McCarthy's offense was that. When it was a pass, it looked like a pass. When it was a run, it looked like a run. And that's something that I think we're seeing a lot more of that it's just tougher to disguise. And you can do that when you play action and you run. So, great call. I mean, great day of calls, you guys. 14 calls is a lot. At least 3, maybe 4, mentioning the offensive coordinator, Clayton Adams, really big moment for him because they played the type of game that he wanted to play. Be physical, run the football. When it's time to take your shot, and it all worked. And they beat a struggling team, but they did what they're supposed to do in a game like that and dominate. And they did. And now they'll go to Carolina, who looks like a better team than they've seen before up in Carolina. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Should be a lot of fun. But we'll talk about it tomorrow on Cowboy Storyline. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. See you then.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?